I'm here with Hamilton Spectator columnist Steve Milton. And Steve, the Cats play their first preseason game on Saturday. What do you expect to see?
Well, I don't expect to see Kevin Glenn. I mean, the coach basically said as much. I expect to see a great deal of Boltus in this game. They've got some idea of how Quinton can play, so I'm expecting to see Boltus play at least half that. A lot of play-through in the backfield. We might see the linebackers play a little more, their starting linebackers, than we might think, because I think at the start of the year they got to be on top of their game, and they got a new guy, a very key guy, Ray Williams, to work into that. So they might play a little more than you would expect, I think, in the first game, although I haven't had that indication from the coach. I don't know if you have.
Are there some position groups in particular that you're looking at?
Well, and it's the one you've been centering on in the paper a great deal, of course, is the defensive backs. Not only are you looking at personnel there, but you're looking at personnel to fit a system, and that I can't emphasize how big that is when you need certain body types and types of skills to fit a system. This is a complete change in system for Hamilton for anything that's done in many years. It's not just the last defensive coordinator; it goes back and long before this. This goes back into probably the early '90s, late '80s since we've seen this kind of defense from them. So they've got to find the guys that can play man to man. I don't think it's a really good test if you want to know the truth on Saturday, given who they're playing. And given the fact that Giles isn't playing and that he gives them that rollout, he would give the Argos that rollout strength, and therefore the man-to-man becomes even more important. How long can you cover man-to-man on a guy rolling out? That's what they need to see. I'm not sure the other quarterbacks do that for the Argos. Maybe Dalton does a little bit, but so I think the defensive backfield's where a lot of the centering is going to be. And of course, as the other thing you've been pointing out a great deal in the paper is about left tackle on the offensive line. Where's that going to go? And that's not going to be obvious to the naked eye, because you and I aren't going to be able to see that. It's really a film study type of thing, so we won't be able to see on Saturday until we see the films ourselves. So.
It's a preseason game. Obviously, doesn't count in the standings. Does it matter at all?
Well, of course, it matters to individuals. There's some individuals on both teams. I think this means almost nothing in terms of the way the game is played or anything like that to Hamilton, because you're going to be going up against a vanilla defense, so some of the options that they're trying to work probably aren't going to show them the kind of thing. They might see a little of the man-to-man they're hoping for, but they're getting enough of that in practice, at least the offense practicing against man-to-man, that I think they'll be okay there. I think it means something to Toronto. They still have an issue there of wondering about the validity of their team. They don't have it internally, but the rest of us do. I mean, here they are coming back without the guy that that was supposed to change their team around significantly in the offseason was not playing. So that being Giles. So I think it probably means something. The most that it means in terms of larger impact is the Argonauts to their own fans. Here's where we're going. Hey, look, we're pretty good. Hamilton's supposed to be a team that might be right there, and look how we're doing. But it's a classic. The NFL, it's the same thing. The results don't mean much. You really have to be, I think, a football aficionado to appreciate what this means. So even for guys like you and me, right, it's sometimes hard to analyze everything that's going on in exhibition games because the changes are so quick. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it means much on the larger level. It's very much a macro or a micro thing on this one. There's not much macro to this.
Make sure you check out The Spectator on Saturday for a full preview of the game, and obviously full coverage on Sunday and Monday. So for the Hamilton Spectator, I'm Drew Edwards.